another episode of New to Me. I'm Stephen Michael Zach, and today we're taking a look at the YOUKOYI P7 by LUXCEO. I saw this on Amazon. Full disclosure, I bought this with my own money because it just looked super interesting, but it is a awesome tube light and RGB light. Let's just jump into it. First off, some facts about this. It is $89.99 on Amazon. It has 7 hours of battery life. It is IP68, which means it is waterproof. You can take this underwater. It is 8 watts. It has 1,000 milliamps, which is very, very cool. Let's go ahead and take a look at some of the other features. It's used for filmmaking, biking, fishing, camping. You can use this thing pretty much anywhere. The lumens, it's 1,000 lumens, 36,000 hours of life. Very cool. Like I said, waterproof. This sucker is built solid. In fact, their website shows a truck backing over this thing, which is very, very cool. Very, very solid. So inside the box, you do get the light. You do get a you do get a USB to USB micro to charge. You get a little strap here, which is very cool for the unit. You also get a little strap for the remote control that it comes, which is very, very cool. You are going to want to hold on to this remote control. You are not going to want to lose this. But let's talk about the unit first off. Like I said, solid. It is a good weight. It is not super heavy. It is about 16 inches, so you can actually throw this into your travel bag and travel with it, and it is super awesome. Now, at the bottom, you do get a 1/4-20. Thank you for that. And what you're going to do is you're going to unscrew this little metal bit at the bottom carefully, because there is this little tab here which is holding it on. If you unscrew this and pull it right off quickly, you can break it, and then this is going to be separated. But underneath, you do get your USB and USB micro, so you can continuously charge this thing. And there is a little bit of a waterproofing seal at the bottom, which is very, very cool. So very, very waterproof. You do get a very diffused panel here, and you do get this giant advertisement with QR code. You can't take that out, but branding is fine. And then at the top, you get a small little D-ring for hanging, which is very cool. And you do kind of get this button that you depress here to turn it on and cycle through all the different modes. But let's go ahead and use the remote and turn it off. And you also do get it when you turn it off and on. There are 4 little blue lights here that are gonna tell you what your power is when you turn it off. That's not always on. That's a little bit of a downside. You do have to like click it on with the button here to see that, to know how much power you have left in here. That's a little bit of a downside, but let's go ahead and turn this thing on, and let's take a look first off at the lowest setting of power here. Now, I did replace the batteries in the remote, but one thing I will say is the remote is not very responsive on this. You do have to hold it close to the top here. And it's about 10%, which is not bad. As you can see, there are 2 rows of bicolor lights here, which is very cool. There are also, when we get to the RGB, you will note that there is only 1 row of RGB, so the RGB is not going to be bright, but it is still very usable. But here we go at the lowest setting power. Let's go ahead and bring this up. Now, they claim this is stepless. It is not. You can definitely see this jumping up in steps, but that's not a deal breaker. Let's go ahead and make this the brightest we possibly can. And I think it works a little better if you just continuously hit the button rather than hold it. And there we go. That is as bright as it gets. Super stupid bright. You can use this for fill light. You can probably use it as a key light, or you can use it as a kind of an over the head, you know, like a halo light or shoulder light, a backlight. Very, very cool. Just very impressed with this thing. Now, one thing I wish it did come with is I wish it came with a case. Because the plastic is going to get banged up and scratched. I can already see visible scratches on the actual thing as it's kind of rolled around. So I will probably try to find some kind of case for this. Now let's talk about the remote for a minute. The remote has multiple things, like it has your power, your up and down. It's got a couple of special effects modes, which we'll go into. It's got your tungsten, daylight, and then it's got a couple of RGB settings. Now, this thing is not full RGB. and I get it. That's fine that it's not full RGB, but it still gives you some nice stuff to work with. Here's daylight, here's tungsten. Let's go into the red RGB. And as you can see, there is only, and I'll lower this as much as I can. As you can see, there is, as I can see with my eyes, there is only one strip of colored LEDs. Now I'll move to the green. Now I'll move to the blue, and it is all just one strip. And then you have a couple of mixed colors. You have a red-green, which gives you kind of this yellowish lime color. You have a red-blue, which of course is purple, and a green-blue, which of course is this powder blue. But there is no, you can't control the hue and saturation. It just is what it is. But that's fine. You also have a couple of special effects modes built into this thing. You have this one thing called Flash, which is just gonna disco through all the lights. You have an RGB mode, which is very interesting. This will kind of pulse up and down each color. And the colors are always changing, as you can see. Go through red and then you go through green. So you'll go through all the different colors. And this is great if you want to put this like on water, or you just want some soft changing lights in the background. It's a very cool effect. And then of course you have your police lights, because everything has the police lights nowadays. And of course everything also has the lightning, which is very cool. So you do get about 4 different effects with this thing, which is very, very cool. And all in all, it is not very bad. I can definitely see a whole bunch of these hanging in the background in a music video, or like I said, put these in the background pulsing with the lights. This thing is fantastic. Now, who is this for? Narrative filmmakers. You're gonna want to take a look at this, because this is one of the cheapest, nicest things on the market. One thing I will say is the RGB is not very bright, but if you need something, if you have a whole bunch of these in the background pulsing in your camera, or you just need a hair light, or you need a fill light, or just something that is travelable, if you are shooting underwater videography or photography, IP68 rated, you could take this underwater, which baffles my mind. I am definitely going to be trying that soon. And it is just made really well. It is absolutely solid. For 90 bucks, you cannot beat this. It is 16 inches, so it's just over a foot. Very travelable, very inexpensive when you talk about the quasars that are the same size, that are like $400. So there you go, have it. The YOUKOYI P7 by LUXCEO. I really love this thing. Like I said, I did buy this with my own money. I am most likely keeping this and putting this in my travel kit. Very excited to have one of these. I might buy a couple more because they are so inexpensive when you consider how much quasars are or anything else, and it's just built like a beast. So that's it. Let me know in the notes below what you thought, and let me know if you're going to buy one of these, or if you have any of these tube lights. I'd be real interested to know how you would use this thing. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and don't forget to mash the bell button to be notified when we drop a brand new video. I'm Stephen Michael Zach, and this is New to Me.